When we talk about improvement in track riding, most people will cite just one main indicator to keep an eye on. However, there are a couple of others we can also look out for, indicators that you should be equally proud of if you're able to see improvements in them. What I wanted to talk about in this video are some of the things we can look out for to indicate if we are making progress and if that's the right type of progress. Tracking improvement is important in any endeavor where you're looking to improve performance. In track riding, these key performance indicators are some of the important ones to note if becoming a better all-round rider is your riding goal. And just as a side note, never did I think I'd be fusing remnants of an old corporate job with my biggest passion in life. KPIs in track riding, who would have thought? Anyway, let's look at the first and most obvious indicator, lap times. The best and most obvious gauge to progress on the track in terms of outright speed will be your lap times, plain and simple. For the vast majority of riders looking to improve their performance and make their way up the track riding ranks, they are mainly interested in one thing. They want to go faster. An accurate timer is pretty much the be-all and end-all when it comes to measuring that kind of progress. If it took you less time to get back around to the start-finish line, you averaged a faster speed than you did before. It's that simple. But outside of lap times, there are a couple of other areas we can look at, such as, how do you feel? Let's say if you were to head to your favorite track and slash a massive chunk off your lap time, but as a result of that lap time, you were feeling totally on the edge and consistently stepping outside of your comfort zone and making mistakes. Would you still be satisfied that you made good progress? Would you be keen to step back into that place? As you begin to achieve faster lap times, take note of how you're feeling throughout. Did it feel comfortable? Were your techniques up to scratch with minimal mistakes? Or did it feel like less effort? When you can begin to ride faster lap times but also reduce that feeling of being on the edge, as well as the overall comfort you feel on the bike, that's a massive indicator that you're in a great place mentally and physically in terms of the actions you're performing. Another gauge of progress is when certain actions fall down to a subconscious level. When that happens, it means that the time and attention it used to take up is now freed up to focus on other things you might want to work on, at which point progress will be made in that new area of focus. You only have to think back to the time when you first rode a motorcycle. I bet you spent a lot of attention on just releasing the clutch lever and finding that bite point to pull away from a standstill, probably to the point where the vast majority of your attention was fixed on it. Now it's not such an attention-sapping action. And if we think more recently in your motorcycling life, how much attention do you pay to your braking efforts, for example, and how you actually use the lever through the braking zone when you enter a corner? If this is something you're currently working to improve, I'd wager quite a lot. But the more you practice and get used to this and the many other fundamentals of riding, the more they fall down to a subconscious level. Now, they will always take some of your attention when performing them, but not so much that everything else going on and everything else coming up disappears. Once you reach that level where you can perform all of these actions to a high degree of competence, you can turn to things like consistently finding the traction limits, adjusting the points you hit on the track and where you perform each action to make better use of the bike, as well as things like honing your sense of speed. These are the things that are going to take you from fast to really fast. And lastly, and a big one for me personally, consistency. This is always a big one for me because a rider that can consistently be in the right place and perform the right actions at the right time at speed, it shows to me that they're very much in control of what they're doing. While being fast is the ultimate goal, this is a trait I very much like to see in learning riders, because that level of control means they can work in greater safety. On top of that, the consistent level they're able to ride from is going to help them better judge what changes need to be made to improve, as well as help them implement that change. If you notice your consistency is improving along with your lap times, this is another indicator that your fundamental application and general composure have improved along with them. So as you can see, while the lap time itself is a key indicator for progress and one that I feel should be used, it's just too vague to determine if you're truly improving as a rider overall. For me personally, a good rider is fast, but they're also consistent, smooth, and fundamentally sound, which ultimately means they're working with good safety margins too. Being fast is definitely a goal to chase, and I fully appreciate that simply saying that I can hit a spot again and again doesn't really hold much weight down the pub. But I do feel that there are other equally important goals that should be praised just as much, if not more so, when they are in fact achieved. What indicators have you used in the past to measure progress, if you use any at all? Tell us about it in the comments down below, and as always, if you like the video then please hit the button and subscribe to the channel for more performance writing advice and guides moving forward. Take care.